All right, welcome to Coachable. Today I'm going to be teaching you 4 steps to help you have difficult conversations with yourself and with others so that you can create stronger relationships, earn more money, and love yourself deeper than ever before. Now, these are very real methods that are used inside of my coaching containers, and they require the commitment of you facing the parts of yourself that maybe you're going to be ashamed of. So take note that what I'm going to be guiding you through in this specific session is much like what it would be like inside of a coaching container. And if you are interested in having a coaching container, entering a coaching container with me so that we can do a session, you can access that by clicking the link in the description. So first, let's start with defining what maybe some hard stuff would look like. So for example, opening your bank account to see the numbers dropping like flies because you spend more than you earn, or telling a person that you're being intimate with that you have no intention to pursue a committed relationship, but that you still want to be intimate, which in this day and age, people call that situationships. Or having to apologize to a family member for lashing out at them because of your own mood or your own negative mindset that you may have at the time. Or having to fire someone because they're falling to essentially hold their end of the agreement. If you're a coach, you could be firing a client, or if you're an employer, you could be firing an employee, right? And that's a difficult conversation as well. Or maybe you're avoiding going to the doctors to get checked because you know that you're out of integrity with your health, but you know that if you go, there's a possibility that you might hear some bad news, and you think out of sight, out of mind, right? Or maybe you're an online entrepreneur and you're using social media, but you feel like it's difficult to sell your offers online because you're afraid of people seeing you as too salesy instead of what you actually are, which is deeply committed to your God-given purpose. So those are some examples around like where tough conversations are going to have to be had either with yourself or with others. And essentially this entire session is designed to guide you through 4 steps, 4 conversations that you can have with yourself and with others so that you could essentially develop the courage to be able to improve the quality of your life through improving the quality of your thoughts, and then having that result in a quality of your own self-worth and the improvement of your self-image, which then results in self-confidence and self-esteem and self-worth, all amplified and ultimately helping you become a better person overall. So the first suggestion is that you remove any sort of meaning that would demean your worth. This means that you would reframe the reason why you were making things hard to talk about, and then create a shift in your perception that would make your effort a loving attempt to strengthen your opinion of yourself. Okay, so first step, remove any sort of meaning that would demean your worth, meaning reframing the reasons why you think that this is going to be a hard conversation to have or a hard thing to do, and then creating a shift in your perception so that by you actually taking the effort and creating a loving attempt to strengthen your opinion of yourself, the opinion that you're having of yourself as you're confronting these difficult situations, it comes from knowing that you have a strong opinion of yourself that is not demeaning your worth, simply because these are the situations that you're actually going through. So for example, if we're going through the money conversation where you're afraid to look at your bank account because you know that you spend more than you earn, then you might feel shame in relation to that. Or having a conversation that regards intimacy or a commitment issue with someone that you're in a relationship with, like maybe you feel shame about having to have that conversation, right? Anything that would demean or remove or lessen the value of your self-worth because of a meaning that you attach to it that is not strong in the sense of strengthening your opinion of yourself, what you want to do immediately is you want to give yourself a loving attempt to strengthen your opinion of yourself by removing any sense of negative meaning that is related or associated to what it is that you would be doing, right? So remove the meaning completely and either replace that meaning with a new meaning that is empowering, or don't give it any meaning at all. Just go into the conversation from a completely blank slate. As we know, if you have a whiteboard in front of you and you erase everything on the whiteboard, once you have that blank space, you can create, choose, or decide what to write on that whiteboard. From nothing, you can have, create, or manifest anything. So my invitation for you is step one, remove the meaning and ensure that nothing demeans your worth with regards to you approaching the difficulty of these conversations. The second thing, love yourself for where you are and unapologetically accept the choices and decisions from the past that made you be avoidant, afraid, or out of integrity with the characteristics about yourself that are loved by yourself and by others. Okay, so the second thing I want you to do is love yourself for where you are, for wherever you are in having to even have this conversation, and unapologetically accept the choices and decisions from the past that had you be either avoidant, afraid, or out of integrity with the characteristics about yourself that are loved by yourself and by others. So the key part of this second step is to still find a way to accept yourself unapologetically as you are, because the choices and the decisions that you made in the past that led to the difficulty of these conversations, those are probably or have probably had you feel avoidant or afraid or out of integrity with the characteristics about yourself that you love or that other people love. You can't go into these conversations not loving yourself. You can't go into these conversations creating a meaning that is going to demean your worth. Just because you're in a situation where you're having difficult conversations where maybe you did something doesn't mean that you deserve to be attacked for what you did. And if there's someone on the other end of the conversations that you're having that is not attacking you, but you find yourself attacking yourself, often that could be even worse than receiving any sense of attack, because you have to live with this thing between your two ears every single day. And if you continue to demean yourself or make yourself wrong and not love yourself, you're ultimately going to lead down a path of self-sabotage that could eventually become self-sacrifice, could eventually become you being a martyr, and then it's a downward spiral. So what I want you to do for the second step is I want you to choose to love yourself for where you are and unapologetically accept the choices and decisions from the past that have made you maybe be avoidant or afraid or out of integrity with the characteristics about yourself that you love and that others love about you too. People still love you even though you may have been out of integrity. You can still love you even though you may have been out of integrity. That comes with self-acceptance. But the fact that you're even having these conversations is what gives you the courage, is what makes you strong, is what gives you back your integrity. So those are the first two steps. The third step is I invite you to rip off the Band-Aid by choosing to commit to the lesson that would be learned. So by speaking up about what you're avoiding, then you're in the action of restoring any missing integrity that may have been unconsciously depleting your worth. So by ripping off the Band-Aid and choosing to commit to the lesson that would be learned, you're essentially learning how to position yourself in a place of detachment so that whatever happens based off of the impact of this conversation that you're going to have with yourself or others, you're removing yourself from making that mean something that could hurt you while simultaneously choosing to commit to the lessons that are available here. So it doesn't have to go your way. It might not go your way. And you're self-aware about what is available for you to learn here. By speaking up about what it is that you've been avoiding, you can be in the action of restoring any missing integrity that may have been unconsciously depleting your worth, right? So when you think about it, it's like unconsciously, if you are not prepared to have a conversation about where you've been out of integrity or what you may or may have not done that you knew you could have or quote unquote should have done, you may be unconsciously depleting your worth. And then from that unconscious depletion, you may find yourself making yourself wrong or having a lesser opinion about yourself. It's in the action of actually having these difficult conversations with yourself, whether you're doing it in your journal or whether you're doing it with someone in your life or whether you're doing it with yourself through self-talk. The action of actually having these conversations is how you restore any missing integrity that may be unconsciously depleting your worth. So the third step is completely rip off the Band-Aid by choosing to commit to the lessons that are going to be learned here and allow yourself to restore the missing integrity around what it is that you've been pretending or what it is that you've been avoiding, so that you can bring what's been unconsciously depleting your worth to the surface and choose to learn whatever there is to learn. Not by making it right and not by making it wrong, not by giving it meaning, but rather by simply noticing what's available for you to discover by positioning yourself in a place where you're willing to do the looking or you're willing to have a difficult conversation to be able to expand, transform, or heal what's out of integrity in your life. The fourth step is to give yourself a moment of gratitude for your courage, your honesty, and your transparency. Maybe it's just 5 seconds with your eyes closed, acknowledging to yourself that you did something good by courageously taking action on having this conversation with yourself or another. Or maybe it's 1 hour of sitting in silence in a meditation and simply acknowledging yourself over and over and over again as tears are pouring down your face. Whatever amount of time you commit to, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you give yourself the gratitude and the self-acknowledgement for your effort. Most people will not have the difficult conversations. Most people will avoid the difficult conversations. So if you're the type of person that is having these conversations, you definitely deserve to love yourself, to experience gratitude for your self-awareness, and to allow yourself the transparency to feel the self-acknowledgement that is going to be in your space as you ultimately love on yourself for having the courage to have these types of conversations. The fact is, we are programmed a certain way, and we behave based on how those programs have affected us growing up. Our programs aren't set in stone, though. Our programs are programmable. We can blame the past or not. We can blame our parents or not. We can blame society or not, or we can blame ourselves or not. Blaming is a bullshit way of giving away your power. My coaching methods at Coachable are less about imagining results and more about creating them. The work we do inside of these containers are designed to strengthen your character, improve your opinion of yourself, and help you become the creator of what you manifest. We can work together so that we can clean up the messes that you've been leaving behind while manifesting from action instead of hope. Because manifestation, yes, it's about visualization. Yes, it's about beliefs. It's also about taking relentless action by embodying the thoughts that you are choosing to manifest into things. I really hope that these 4 steps helped you develop the strength of character to have courageous conversations. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment section below. If you want to book a one-on-one session where we unpack some of the things that you heard inside of this session, you can click the link inside of the description. And as always, it's always such a joy to share these coaching methodologies with you. If you haven't liked or subscribed, that would help the channel a lot so that I can get this message out to a lot more people. You can simply just do your part. That would be so great. And if you have any coaching conversations, topics, or suggestions, anything at all that you would like me to touch on by using these coaching frameworks so that I can improve the quality of your thoughts and obviously the quality of YouTube as a whole, feel free to suggest that inside of the chat section and I'll make content about that too. Wishing you such a great day.